Here's the thing. We've just come through the worst pandemic in the world in over 100 years. And we're now finally appearing to be at the tail end of it. God willing, we don't see another wave this summer or in the fall, and the pandemic essentially goes away. In the meantime, all of our supply chains have been very severely disrupted because our societies have been disrupted. Hospitals have been overwhelmed. Downtowns have become ghost towns, with wind whistling and tumbleweeds blowing through Times Square. It's unbelievable what we've seen. But we've come through it now. The worst of it's over. People are recovering. We're getting back to work. The economy is picking up again. Unemployment has reached record lows, lows that haven't been seen in 30, 40, 50 years. The recovery has been fantastic. But so has been the rise in prices that have resulted because the pandemic has also broken the supply chains. And those supply chains are long and attenuated. They're worldwide. They cover America, they cover China, they cover Europe, they cover Latin America. They cover entire swaths of the world that were broken by that pandemic. Worst of all, of course, being China. China is where the pandemic originally started. We saw Chinese cities shutting down before cities anywhere else were being shut down. And China is where a lot of our goods and services come from. We depended on China. We've given a lot of our talent and abilities to China. And so now China is reaping the benefits of what we've decided to do to outsource to them. But the side effect of that is that it's going to take a while for those supply chains to get rebuilt to the levels of the before times. That's going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in months. It's going to take years for it to be fully recovered. And in the meantime, prices are going up. Inflation has reared its ugly head. That's the bad news. The good news is the economy is recovering. The bad news is prices are shooting up as well. But it's particularly interesting, at least to my warped way of thinking, that the GOP is really fixated, particularly fixated, on the price of oil and gas. Day after day after day, I see tweet after tweet after tweet coming out from the GOP, coming out from various congressmen, from various senators, from various pundits, from various people that just sort of pop up out of nowhere, kind of like me in some respects. But anyway, all we see is all these tweets about how the price of oil and gas is just killing average Americans at the pump. And it's all Joe Biden's fault. Now, of course, the fact that people are being hurt by high oil and price gases is absolutely true. It cannot be ignored. And certainly the effects of the supply chain and the increase in demand that have come from the recovery to the pandemic have had their impact on oil and gas prices just as they have in other industries. But who's not hurting? Who's doing okay? Who's actually doing better than okay? Who's actually had record profits in the past year? Made more money in 2021 than they ever made before? The oil and gas companies. What is that? An accident?